The world is filled with unanswered questions: ancient codes, missing armies, vanishing colonies, and aircraft that disappeared without a trace. Tonight, we're diving deep into 10 mysteries that continue to baffle experts worldwide. From the cryptic symbols of an ancient disk to the most perplexing aviation disaster of our time, these cases refuse to be solved. Wait for mystery number 3 and mystery 1. The truth will surprise you. Let's begin our investigation. Number 10. The Phaistos disk, an ancient riddle in clay. In 1908, Italian archaeologist Luigi Pernier unearthed a small clay disk at the Minoan Palace of Phaistos on Crete. Dating to the Bronze Age, 1850 to 1550 BC, this 15-centimeter disk bears 242 pressed symbols arranged in a spiral pattern across both sides. The symbols, totaling 45 unique characters, include humans, animals, plants, and abstract shapes, each stamped into clay using individual seals. The disk represents one of the earliest known examples of movable type printing, predating Gutenberg by millennia. Physical analysis confirms authentic Bronze Age clay composition, and the stamping technique shows sophisticated understanding of mass production. However, no similar artifacts exist anywhere in the archaeological record. Linguist Dr. Gareth Owens claims 99% decipherment, arguing it's a prayer to Minoan goddess Astarte. Others propose it's a religious hymn, administrative record, game board, or calendar system. A controversial minority suggests it's a modern forgery, planted in the early 20th century. Without additional examples or a Rosetta Stone equivalent, decipherment remains impossible to verify. The isolation of this unique writing system and lack of comparative material means any translation is essentially educated guesswork. Discovery of similar stamped texts, archaeological context with datable organic material, or a bilingual inscription could finally crack the code. The Phaistos disk guards its secrets in symbols we can see but cannot read. Number 9. Oak Island Money Pit. Is it a treasure or elaborate hoax? In 1795, 3 teenagers discovered a depression on Oak Island, Nova Scotia, surrounded by loose soil and young trees indicating disturbed ground. Their excavation revealed platforms of cut timbers every 10 feet, launching 2 centuries of treasure hunting. At 90 feet, searchers found a granite stone with carved symbols, allegedly translating to 40 feet below, 2 million pounds are buried. Physical finds include coconut fibers at 60 feet, despite nearest coconut trees being 1,500 miles away, ship spikes, blacksmith tools dating to the 14th century, bone fragments of European and Middle Eastern ancestry, and metal chains. Flood tunnels appear to be booby traps designed to thwart excavation. Proposed origins range from pirate treasure, Captain Kidd or Blackbeard, to Knights Templar artifacts, French army engineers hiding Fortress of Louisbourg treasury, or British loot from the 7 Years' War. Modern theories suggest it's a natural sinkhole with deposited debris from shipwrecks. Despite over 200 years of searching and millions invested, no significant treasure has been recovered. Previous excavations have contaminated the site with debris from multiple attempts, making original evidence difficult to authenticate. Clear archaeological stratification showing undisturbed original construction, carbon dating of wooden platforms, or discovery of the actual treasure vault would resolve the mystery. The Oak Island Money Pit remains the world's longest-running treasure hunt and its most expensive disappointment. Number 8. Taos hum, the sound only some can hear. Beginning in 1993, residents of Taos, New Mexico, reported hearing a persistent, low-frequency humming sound that only a small percentage of the population could detect. Described as resembling a distant diesel engine or refrigerator buzz, the hum caused headaches, sleep disturbances, and anxiety in those who perceived it. A team from Los Alamos National Laboratory, Phillips Air Force Laboratory, and Sandia National Laboratories conducted extensive studies using highly sensitive microphones, but their instruments failed to record any substantial sound. Population surveys revealed the hum was heard by people evenly split between genders, with middle-aged individuals most affected, and 80% of hearers experiencing it at least weekly. Scientists proposed industrial sources, electrical grids, distant machinery, natural phenomena, seismic activity, atmospheric pressure variations, or perceptual disorders related to tinnitus. However, the experience doesn't match typical tinnitus patterns. The hum fluctuates while tinnitus remains constant and occurs in extremely low frequencies rather than high-pitched ringing. The phenomenon's subjective nature defies objective measurement. While easily dismissed as mass hysteria, the consistency of descriptions and the specific demographic patterns suggest a real but unidentified source. Detection of an actual low-frequency sound source, correlation with geological or atmospheric events, or identification of a shared physiological sensitivity among hearers could explain the mystery. In Taos, the silence itself seems to whisper secrets that only some can hear. Number 7. The Lost Army of Cambyses, 50,000 men swallowed by sand. In 524 BC, Persian king Cambyses II dispatched 50,000 soldiers to destroy the Oracle of Amun at Siwa Oasis in the Egyptian desert. According to Greek historian Herodotus, the army departed from Luxor and was last seen near El-Kharga Oasis. 7 days into their desert march, the entire force vanished without trace. Archaeological expeditions have uncovered scattered human remains, bronze arrow tips, and daggers consistent with Persian weaponry of the period near the presumed road. A large rock formation that could have served as shelter against sandstorms was discovered in the search area. However, no concentrated evidence of 50,000 men has been found. Herodotus claimed a massive sandstorm buried the army alive. Modern archaeologist Olaf Kopper proposes the army was ambushed by Egyptian rebel leader Petubastis III at Dakhla Oasis, who then reconquered Egypt. Others suggest the story is entirely mythical, a propaganda piece to explain Cambyses' military failures. The Western Desert's vastness and 2,500 years of shifting sands make archaeological verification nearly impossible. Conflicting ancient accounts and limited contemporary records leave the story's authenticity in doubt. Discovery of a mass burial site with Persian military equipment, cuneiform records from the period, or evidence of the proposed battle at Dakhla Oasis could confirm what happened to Cambyses' vanished army. 100,000 men marched into the desert and became legend. Number 6. Voynich Manuscript. The book nobody can read. In 1912, antiquarian bookseller Wilfrid Voynich acquired a mysterious 15th century manuscript containing 240 pages of undecipherable text and bizarre illustrations. The vellum codex features naked women bathing in green pools, unidentifiable plants, and astronomical charts written in an unknown alphabet using an estimated 45 unique characters. Carbon dating confirms 1404 to 1438 origins. The text follows consistent linguistic patterns with repeated word structures, suggesting genuine language rather than gibberish. Marginalia in faded letters includes the name Jacobus Horczycki de Penec, a Czech pharmacist, providing one confirmed owner. Proposed authors include Roger Bacon, 13th century philosopher, an unknown Italian architect, or an autistic monk with specialized knowledge. Recent theories suggest it's written in phonetic Turkish or represents a lost Proto-Romance language. Skeptics argue it's an elaborate hoax designed to fool collectors. Despite analysis by World War II codebreakers, modern computer algorithms, and linguistic experts, not a single word has been definitively translated. The manuscript's isolation, no similar texts exist, prevents comparative analysis essential for decipherment. Discovery of related manuscripts, identification of the plant species depicted, or breakthrough cryptographic analysis could finally unlock its meaning. Alternatively, definitive proof of forgery would close the case forever. The Voynich manuscript speaks in tongues that died before history learned to listen. Number 5. The Bloop. When the Ocean Groaned. In 1997, NOAA's underwater hydrophones detected an ultra-low frequency sound in the South Pacific so powerful it was recorded simultaneously by sensors over 3,000 miles apart. The sound, dubbed the Bloop, rose rapidly in frequency over 1 minute with sufficient amplitude to be heard across an entire hemisphere. Multiple hydrophone arrays, originally designed to detect Soviet submarines, captured the phenomenon using the sound surveillance system, SOSUS. The sound's characteristics were unlike any known mechanical source, whale call, or geological event initially analyzed. NOAA's lead researcher, Dr. Christopher Fox, initially believed the audio profile resembled a large living creature, potentially an unknown deep-sea organism. Other theories included secret military experiments, underwater volcanic activity or mechanical sounds from distant shipping. In 2005, NOAA traced the source to icebergs cracking and breaking away from Antarctic glaciers through a process called calving. Acoustic surveys near Antarctica's Drake Passage confirmed that disintegrating icebergs produce bloop-like sounds as climate change accelerates ice shelf collapse. The mystery appears solved through scientific analysis, though ongoing climate change means similar mysterious ocean sounds will likely continue as more icebergs calve from warming Antarctic glaciers. The bloop turned out to be Earth itself crying out as its caps crumble. Number 4. Dyatlov Pass Incident. 9 deaths on Dead Mountain. But what happened? On February 1, 1959, 9 experienced hikers led by Igor Dyatlov pitched camp on the slopes of Kholat-Syakhl, Dead Mountain, in Russia's Ural Mountains. During the night, something catastrophic occurred. Their tent was slashed open from the inside, and the hikers fled in panic without proper clothing into sub-zero temperatures. All 9 were found dead over subsequent days, some with severe chest and skull injuries, others missing eyes and tongues. The tent was cut from inside, not outside. Bodies were scattered across the mountainside in various states of undress. 4 victims had severe traumatic injuries, including fractured ribs and skulls. Some clothing showed traces of radiation. No evidence of avalanche debris was visible when rescue teams arrived 26 days later. Over 75 theories have emerged, ranging from avalanche and military weapons testing to Yeti attacks and alien encounters. Recent scientific analysis proposes a slab avalanche, a delayed snow collapse triggered by the tent's weight that could explain the severe injuries and panicked escape. The combination of severe injuries, radiation traces, missing soft tissues, and the tent's interior damage creates a pattern that doesn't fit neatly with any single explanation. Soviet secrecy surrounding the original investigation fueled decades of conspiracy theories. Computer simulations of slab avalanche conditions have provided the most scientifically plausible explanation, though they cannot account for all observed evidence. The mystery may never be fully resolved due to the absence of survivors and compromised evidence. 9 friends climbed a mountain. None returned to tell what they saw in the darkness. Number 3. Roanoke Colony, the CROATOAN mystery. Here's our retention anchor. This 400-year-old mystery reveals how an entire colony didn't vanish, but the truth is far more complex than disappearance. In 1587, 115 English settlers established the Roanoke colony on an island off present-day North Carolina under Governor John White. White returned to England for supplies but was delayed 3 years by war with Spain. When he finally returned in August 1590, the colony was completely abandoned, with houses dismantled and no signs of violence. 2 cryptic clues remained: CROATOAN, carved into a palisade post, and Crow, carved into a tree. CROATOAN was the former name of nearby Hatteras Island, home to the Croatan Native Americans. Recent archaeological excavations have uncovered colonial-era pottery and artifacts at multiple sites, suggesting survivors scattered into different groups. The colonists likely relocated to CROATOAN Island, as the carved message indicated. Archaeological evidence suggests some integrated with local Croatan communities, while others may have moved inland. Alternative theories include massacre by hostile tribes or Spanish forces, though no evidence supports violent endings. Modern archaeological work increasingly supports the theory that colonists survived by assimilating into Native American communities rather than mysteriously vanishing. The lost colony wasn't lost, it adapted and survived through integration. Continued archaeological excavation and DNA analysis of Native American communities with potential colonial ancestry could definitively prove the colonists' fate. Some researchers argue the mystery is essentially solved through survival and assimilation. The lost colony of Roanoke was never lost, it simply became something new. Number 2. D.B. Cooper, the Gentleman Skyjacker. On November 24, 1971, a calm, well-dressed man calling himself Dan Cooper, later misreported as DB, boarded Northwest Orient Flight 305 from Portland to Seattle. He handed flight attendant Florence Schaffner a note claiming he had a bomb, showed her a briefcase with wires and dynamite, and demanded $200,000 in $20 bills plus 4 parachutes. Cooper left behind a $1.49 J.C. Penney clip-on tie containing his DNA. In 1980, a boy found $5,800 in deteriorating $20 bills along the Columbia River. Serial numbers matched Cooper's ransom money. The FBI collected over 300 pieces of evidence and investigated more than 800 suspects over 45 years. Recent evidence points to Richard Floyd McCoy II, who pulled off a nearly identical skyjacking 5 months later. McCoy's family discovered a parachute on their property matching Cooper's jump specifications and contacted the FBI in 2024. Other suspects include Boeing engineer Dan Cooper, the name's origin, and various military personnel with parachuting experience. Cooper jumped at 8 p.m. into stormy weather wearing a business suit and loafers, conditions experts deemed unsurvivable. The partial money recovery suggests he likely died, but his body was never found. Despite new evidence, the FBI cannot definitively prove Cooper's identity or whether he survived. DNA analysis of the discovered parachute, additional debris finds, or definitive forensic evidence linking a suspect to the tie would close the case. The FBI maintains Cooper almost certainly died in the jump. D.B. Cooper achieved the perfect crime by vanishing into the night, but probably didn't live to enjoy it. Finally, the most awaited mystery number 1, MH370, aviation's greatest mystery. On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 departed Kuala Lumpur for Beijing with 239 people aboard. At 1:19 a.m., the last radio contact occurred. "Good night, Malaysian 370. Radar tracking showed the Boeing 777 suddenly deviated from its flight path, turned west across the Malay Peninsula, and flew for 7 more hours before vanishing over the southern Indian Ocean. Satellite data confirms the aircraft continued flying until approximately 8:19 a.m., over 7 hours after losing contact. More than 30 pieces of confirmed debris have washed up on African coastlines and Indian Ocean islands. The aircraft's communication systems, transponder, ACARS, were systematically disabled, and radar showed deliberate course changes, requiring cockpit input. Evidence increasingly points to deliberate action by the pilot, Captain Zahari Ahmed Shah. His home flight simulator showed a practice route over the southern Indian Ocean matching MH370's final path. New research using Weak Signal Propagation Reporter (WSPR) data suggests 3 possibilities: mechanical failure with crew incapacitation, murder-suicide by the pilot while conscious, or murder-suicide with the pilot unconscious during final descent. Despite the largest aviation search in history, covering over 120,000 square kilometers of ocean floor, the main wreckage remains missing. Ocean Infinity has agreed to resume searching a new 15,000 square kilometer area with advanced underwater vehicles under a no-find, no-fee arrangement. Researcher Vincent Line believes the aircraft lies in a 6,000-meter deep trench near Broken Ridge, deliberately flown there to remain hidden. Recovery of the main wreckage containing flight data recorders would reveal exactly what happened in the cockpit. Until then, MH370 remains the greatest transport mystery of our time. A Boeing 777 that simply vanished with 239 souls aboard. In an age of global surveillance, MH370 proved that even a massive aircraft can disappear without a trace. If we talk about the pattern behind the mysteries, these 10 cases share common threads: missing records, lost evidence, and the limits of modern science when confronting the past. From ancient Minoan symbols to modern aviation disasters, each mystery represents moments where human knowledge reaches its boundaries. Unsolved doesn't mean supernatural. It often means we're missing the right evidence. Some mysteries, like the Bloop and possibly Roanoke, yield to scientific analysis. Others, like the Phaistos disk in MH370, may require breakthrough discoveries or technological advances we haven't yet achieved. The greatest mysteries endure not because they're impossible to solve, but because they reveal how much we still don't know about our own history and capabilities. Which of these mysteries would you like us to investigate deeper next? Vote in the comments. I'll do the research and bring you the evidence. Remember to subscribe for more investigations into the unexplained and hit that notification bell so you never miss a mystery. Some questions refuse to be answered. These are the mysteries that define the limits of human knowledge and remind us that the unknown is closer than we think.